Hello everybody, welcome to my new channel that's called Living Green Garden. This is my first video on YouTube and I am here to teach you how to grow food and how to be sustainable. So what I am doing today, I am taking an old TV stand that I was going to throw out, and I'm going to, I already have soil in here. I'm going to amend the soil for here and plant spinach. Now, I've always had a difficult time with spinach because in the past, I just thought about planting a vegetable garden in one season or one time, and that was spring to summer. So these cool temperature plants like carrots and spinach, I've never been successful with them until actually, so this year is the first year that I did not plant my carrots, for instance, in like full sun in the at the end of July where temperatures were like 90s. I put them in an area in my garden that had partial shade, and they are thriving. So today is the beginning of September, and spinach does well in with cool temperatures from 60 to mid 70s, and so this is the perfect time. So it's September. If you're thinking, hey, you know, there's nothing else I can plant, hey, get to planting. There's still plenty of things you can plant. Spinach is one of them. If you don't have room in your garden bed, get a pot out the garage, or somebody's got a pot, or shoot, even get some old furniture or something, put some dirt in it and plant some seeds in it. So let's get to going. Okay, so first, welcome to Fluffy. He may be a reoccurring, oh, I know. He may be a reoccurring occurrence on on the video. Okay, so last year is the first time I actually set up this bed. I didn't want to throw it away because I don't want to add to the landfill if I can help it. So I was like, okay, let me repurpose this, and let me show you the soil that's already in here. Okay, so if you look, so last year I just put in potting soil, and you know, potting soil is okay, but potting soil honestly does not work the best for me unless it's amended. So believe it or not, there's actually like microbes. I saw a couple worms in here earlier when I took, like, I had a covering over it. When I took that off, and a couple other, you know, little living things in there. I even saw a frog. Yeah. So there are good things that's living in there. So let's amend this soil. Shoot, here we go. And we're gonna amend it, giving it some compost, some topsoil. I've already got the potting soil in here, which is fine. The potting soil, if you can see from here, like, potting soil is so nice and loose, which is fine. So when I add the compost and the topsoil to this, it's going to actually aerate the topsoil, because topsoil can be pretty dense. The compost and this potting soil will actually help that. And I'm also going to add some fertilizer and some worm castings. And that's basically what I do when I amend soil. I typically amend my soil with topsoil, compost, tons of compost, some fertilizer, and I use Trifecta Plus. Trifecta Plus from MI Gardener is worked the best for me, and worm castings. Those are like my basics. So depending on already established beds, when I amend, always add compost, but the ratio of adding more dirt and adding the fertilizer and worm castings may change depending on what was planted the year before or right before. Say, for instance, if I had a summer garden and I'm pulling some crops out and pulling from my fall garden, how I will amend the soil. Hey, remember, hey, be kind, be friendly. This is my first video on YouTube, okay? It's kind of a lot of pressure here. Okay, so let's get to work. Actually, let me take off my glasses here. So, like, I can see you all just fine, but I've got my glasses that transition, so I don't know what I'm looking like. So let me let you see my eyes. Here are my eyes, people. Okay, let's get to work. All right, so first, I'm gonna put on my other glove. Okay. Okay, let's add the topsoil here. And I hope you can see this pretty well. Let's get you up closer. And I will probably be editing this. Yes, that is a very strong possibility. Okay, so hopefully you can see what's going in there. Okay, I'm adding topsoil. So there's different types of topsoil. There's like premium and just plain topsoil. Honestly, I just get whatever is on sale. So I get the cheapest of the cheap, or whatever is available, because since I'm adding all types of goodness to it, the compost, it really doesn't matter. So don't worry about buying all that really expensive dirt. I mean, honestly, you will do a better job at adding the nutrients and amending the soil than what's already in the bag. That's been my experience. Okay, so go ahead and mix this up. So last year, believe it or not, this bed was completely full. I planted my carrots in here last year. I think I did it. I know I did it like in the heat of the summer. So they germinated, but they didn't last too long. They burnt. Well, they just died. And it's because, and I kept them watered, it's because there was just too much sun. So this soil, it was up here, and it just really compacted down. And I think primarily because I used the only potting soil for this. Now, with me amending it with topsoil and compost, of course I do expect it to settle when I come back to it next year, but not as much as it did this year. Okay, so that was about a half a bag of topsoil. Let me add another. So y'all, I have to tell you, I garden the way that I cook, and I consider myself a good cook. But with me saying that, is that even if I have a recipe, I always adjust it to fit my needs or what I think is best. And so someone, if I make something, they'll ask, hey, so how did you make this? I'm like, oh, I just put all this stuff in it. They're like, well, how much? Well, I don't know, not until it looks right. And that's how I actually garden. So so I can't tell you how much, but I can tell you how the soil is supposed to look and feel afterwards. So you always want your soil to be airy. You don't want it to be compacted because remember, we've got roots. We have nice tiny little baby roots that are growing, and you don't want them to have to struggle to get through compacted soil and dirt. So you always want to make sure, if you can. Now it takes a while, so like new beds and new pots and things, and pots are like a whole different thing, but it takes some time to get the soil just right. So it's like each year that you add to the bed, the better the soil would get. So the first year it may be a little compacted. You just do the best that you can by adding as much organic matter, compost. I've used for my beds because I ran out of compost last year. I think it was last year because I really expanded my garden quite a bit last year. I ran out of compost, and I got this topsoil from a supplier because I didn't want to buy so many bags to have all those bags of plastic, and that soil was terrible. Oh my goodness. We're fine. I went online asking people and showing people. I was like, look how crappy this soil is. And people are like, oh, that's normal. You know, I've had soil worse than that. I'm like, wow. I have never experienced soil that bad from the bag. But, so this is like my second year with that soil. And like some of my beds are like great because the worms have gotten in there and they just really, you know, they did their thing, and that's great. And I have a couple beds that, yeah, it's still gonna take probably a couple more years to get that the way that it's supposed to be. Okay, so in here I put in a bag and a half of topsoil. And I don't know if you can see this. So now I'm going to add compost. Now compost, people, if you don't know about compost, compost is magic. Compost is, you need compost in your life if you're a gardener. Know that, absolutely. So rarely do I buy compost from the store. This year I did, you know, with the spending the pandemic. So I'm going to go ahead and put all this in there and mix this up pretty well. So this year I did because, well, I am fortunate enough to live in a county where I can get my compost for free. And it's a gardener's dream. Well, because of the pandemic, they weren't opening up just yet. I was like, hey, I need to get these beds amended. I need some compost. And although I do compost, I have about 12 or 13 beds. I definitely do not generate enough compost to amend all of those beds. So I did buy some, and I bought mushroom compost. But honestly, between me using mushroom compost and compost that's just regular compost that's made like by my county, which is with grass clippings and tree branches and leaves, I have not noticed a difference in how the plants grow. So I say if you could get your hands on some compost, whether it's mushroom or not, I say it's necessity that you need it. You absolutely need it. So I have all this compost on the top. Let me get in there, really mix this up. And now that I think about it, I should have added the topsoil, then compost, mix that up and did it again. That would have been so much easier. But of course, my brain went to what was most complicated first. And I think it did that because it wants me to freaking exercise. And you do get a workout when you garden, which is a plus. So my mind is like, yeah, let her do it the more difficult way so she can put some muscle on this and get her exercise for the day. Okay, body, let's do it. So, okay. Mix this up. And you can see like the compost is really dark. You see like how dark and rich and beautiful that is. You see that? I was looking at the camera. See that? And you can tell like the dirt is coming up. So the dirt is a little brown, has like a different texture. You can see there's the compost. And here's the dirt. Yeah, but the dirt is a little more airy. So, and looser. So we're just gonna mix all this up really well. You all, like, I have, like spinach, I have been not as successful with spinach as I have wanted to. And I know now that's because I'm always planting spinach in June, like right when summer is coming and it's about to get hot. And so even if I do like a transplant, the spinach will do okay just for a little while, and then it goes to bolt. If you don't know where bolting is, it goes to seed. When it goes to seed, usually when plants goes to seed, there's like a different texture and a different taste to it. And then that's it. So, and as much as I love spinach, I have not been able to harvest as much as I want to eat. I plan on changing that today, people. I plan on changing that today. Okay. And you know what? This is still not mixed as good as I want to. And my little shovel tool here is not getting it for me. So I am going to get my absolute favorite tool, which is a pitchfork. I don't know how this is gonna work in here, but we're gonna find out today. That's a quote from my brother, AKA Manny. Okay. Okay, y'all. All right. Let's get in here and really turn this over. There we go. That's better. That's better. Yeah? Okay. That's better. I don't know if you can see the difference, but yeah, you see the soil coming up to the top? Yeah, that's what we want, because we want it mixed really well. We want the compost and the topsoil and the dirt all to be mixed extremely well. Okay, that's looking good. That's looking good. Okay, just gonna do a couple more turns. Okay, and if you hear some water in the background, that's my hose, which I need to fix. I like seriously need to fix that. Now that I think about it, me being as environmentally conscious as I am, it is wasting a whole lot of water when I have it on before I can water my plants. So I need to fix that like pronto. Okay. So this is looking good to me. This is good. This is good. Okay. So you see, so the soil is mixed with the compost. It's got like this nice, not black, but like brownish black, like an off black kind of look. Still pretty airy. So we're doing good here. So now let's add the worm castings and the fertilizer. Like I said, I use Trifecta Plus And since I'm doing spinach in here, I'm not going to put too much. I don't think it's going to need too much. But worm castings. Here we go. Worm castings, you cannot put too much worm castings in. Woo! Yeah. So you cannot put too much worm castings. So this is definitely more than I wanted to. Only because, you know, I'm just trying to save money because, you know, stuff costs money. But hey, I'm not going to put it back in the bag. So let's mix all this up. All right. So we're going to mix all this up too. So people, I'm telling you, if you're thinking like, hey, I can't plant anymore, boy, you're so sad because, woo! Oh my God, did y'all see that? Oh my God. It was a frog. You see it? And it just jumped out. It like blended in. Okay, I'm gonna touch it. This is what you have to look forward to the garden too. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, okay. But there are friends. Wait. Yes. Frogs. They're our friends. Yeah. We just need to know where they are and when they're coming. We just don't like surprises. That's all. Don't surprise me. You know, I like surprises, like, you know, surprise me with some money or a check, but not at a frog coming at me. Let's not do that. That kind of surprise. It's not the kind of surprises I like. No. Okay. So, okay, we got that mix. So you notice that for the fertilizer and for the worm castings, I'm not trying to mix it as deeply as with the compost and with the soil. That, you know, surface level, you know, and just turn it over a little bit is just fine. So now let's get to the seeds. Actually, before we get to the seeds, I am going to moisten this soil first. And then when I put the spinach seeds in, I am going to moisten it again. So let's wet the soil. So hey people, like I said, if you don't have a pot, I know you got something in your house that you want to get rid of. I know you got something that you want to throw away. Hey, if it's got an opening, put some dirt in there, some compost. Make sure that there's some holes that there's some drainage, and get to planting. Like, what do you like to eat? You know, there's plenty of fall things that you can get, that you can plant. You know, hey, is it spinach? Is it lettuce? Is it kale? Well, depending on what your zone is, it may be too late for some of the brassicas like broccoli and cauliflower and collards. But maybe it's not. Check your area. Check to see when your first frost date is, and check your area. And honestly, like a lot of these cool temperature vegetables do just fine with a very light frost. So hey, it's not over, people. It's not over. Don't get sad yet. We're not at that point yet. We're not there yet. No, we still have time to play in the dirt. Play in the dirt. And I know there are some people out there just like me that in the wintertime, you look forward to the time when you can play in the dirt. Something very therapeutic, not just about playing in the dirt, but just gardening, period. I don't know if you remember when you were a kid, and if you all took a seed and you grew something, and you looked at that pot every day, it's like, boy, where's this seed at? You know, why isn't it growing? And then when it first sprouted up, and you got so excited. I still get that excitement even now after gardening for years. I still get so excited when I see seedlings first sprout up. I love it. Okay, here we go. nice and mushy and moist. Okay, and we'll moisten it again once we plant them, the seeds. Okay. Put my hands onto the ground here. So let me show you what I'm planting. Okay, so this year, hey. Here we go. Okay, so this year I bought this from Burpee. It's some seed tape, and like, so there's so many seeds that are so small. Spinach and like lettuce seeds in general are just really tiny. So let me take these dirty gloves off so you can see this seed tape. All right. So, and like you can make your own seed tape. You don't have to buy it like this, but it is pretty convenient. Now, this is my first year buying. I didn't even know that this existed. But you don't have to worry about the spacing of your seeds. They already do it for you. And all you have to do is just cut off, just tear it where you want to tear it, and plant it a ½ inch within the soil, because that's how far you plant a spinach seed. So you can do this yourself. You can do this yourself with any sort of like really small seed that's like really difficult to plant because they're so small and tiny. So like broccoli seeds, carrot seeds especially, other leaf seeds. So you can do this yourself. Just get some paper towel, moisten that paper towel, put the seeds and just space them properly, and fold over the paper towel and plant that. So you can do this yourself. But if you don't have time and you just want an easy way, or you don't have to do it this way, you can actually just, because I have regular spinach seeds too, you can just plant the spinach seeds in the ground. So actually, we are going to do, let's do both. Let's do seeds and let's do the tape. And these are two different varieties. This is Burpee Bloomdale's, and this is from M.I. Gardner Viral Flay. I don't know what that is, but, and it's probably backwards for you too, is it? It's totally backwards. Hey, I'm just learning this whole taping thing, so bear with me people. Okay, look at the camera, bear with me people. All right, so let's get to planting. All right. Woo. And I'm going to try not to mess up the rest of the tape. Let me, so I want this tape to start here. I hope you can see me okay. Yeah. And I'm going to tear it right here. All right, so, okay, there we go. And these are spinach seeds. So like I said, you don't want to bury them too deep, because these are tiny, tiny, tiny little seeds. So you don't bury them too deeply. Okay, so let me just, okay, scoop. Yeah. Honestly, these gloves are getting in my way, and sometimes they just do. I was trying to keep the glove on because I got a cut, but the spinach must be planted. So let's plant the spinach without some gloves. Okay, let's do, so you just want to cover it slightly, just slightly. Okay, so we're talking ½ inch, so just a little bit dirt, not that deep. Just a little bit. Okay, there we go. You want to make sure it's all covered. Okay, there we go. Okay, So what I am going to do, rocks, you don't want rocks. We get the rocks out of there. Nope, definitely take away any type of rocks. So there we go. Now on this next row, so I'm just going to put 2 rows of spinach. I'm going to do the seed tape, and now I'm actually going to do the actual seed. Okay. Okay. And how I do it, just so I can, you know, some people, they like poke holes. I don't know why my method is like to create a little, I don't know what you call it, moat or something. It's not a moat, but I don't know. But just like to create a line so I can see where all the seeds are. And then I cover that with dirt. So let me get my seeds. Okay. Okay. And this spacing is 1 inch apart. All right. And honestly, like, let's look at these spinach seeds. So, yeah, spinach seeds are small. Excuse my dirty hands. But, yeah, they are small, but they're really not nearly as small as, like, carrot seeds or some other leaf varieties. So they're really not that small. So if you do not do the seed tape for spinach, I mean, that's like absolutely fine. Okay, so let's do 1 inch apart. Yeah, because this is fine. You're not gonna, it's not as easy to lose these seeds as it is with like carrots and things. Okay. And so what I'm doing, just for germination, and I'm doing like 2 inches apart. Really no particular reason. You can do 1 inch apart, but I'm just doing 2 inches apart. And I'm putting 2 seeds per 2 inches. And I will thin the seeds when or if they germinate. Ooh, that's the 3rd seed. Okay. Okay, there we go. Got the seeds planted, and hopefully I think you can see that. Now, so let me put the seeds back. Woo. And let's cover this up. Okay, seeds are back. Okay, and let's cover. So, and it's only just a half inch. So, even as deep as I have made my little moat situation here, I am not going to put all of that dirt back onto the spinach seeds. Yeah, just a half inch. The rule is for planting seeds is you want to plant them twice the depth of the length of the seed. So if it's a small seed, you don't have to go that far. Okay, here we go. And I'm just going to add a little more water to this. Whew. In addition to like rinsing off my hands. Okay, okay, I think we're good. And there you have it. So I will report back to let you know how the spinach is doing. Fingers crossed that this is it. So the weather is great, it's not too hot, and the temperatures are supposed to stay like low 70s, and nighttime temperatures are like low to mid 50s to low 60s, which are supposed to be ideal temperatures for spinach. So thank you for watching my first video, my first YouTube video. What? Come on, welcome, 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 welcome. That's all I got for you. So follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, Living Green Garden, and I hope to see you soon. So hey, Get to growing. What you doing? Get to growing. I'll see you later. Bye.